Okay, so we'll start this vibration. So this vibrations, in vibrations you have your syllabus, 3 module you have in your vibrations, in module 1, module 2 and module 3. Okay, so module 1 will basically consisting of 3 chapters, that is introductions, the introductions to your vibrations, and importance of mechanical vibrations, and your undamped free vibration of single degree of freedom system, damped free vibration of single degree of freedom system. So mostly in this module 1, and you will have introductions to mechanical vibration, and we will discuss about the single degree of freedom systems. So in single degree of freedom systems, and also we can see the types of vibrations. You can see here the types of vibration. Under this types of vibration you can see the various types of vibration, that is free, forced, damped, undamped, and linear, non-linear, and all these things we can discuss in this vibration. But here in this module 1 you can see only the free vibration or single degree of freedom system, free vibration case. Free vibration we will discuss in details what exactly is this free vibration and forced vibration. So later on in the module 2 we will only discuss about the single degree of freedom system of forced vibration. So first module we will discuss single degree and this free vibration case, and in the second module we will go for single degree of freedom systems and forced vibrations case. And also in another chapter we have 2 degree of freedom system of undamped vibrations. So in module 3 we will have multi degree of freedom system and continuous system. So these are the things that we are going to discuss throughout this semester, and I hope all of you are gone through. So I will share this syllabus in your vibration class post. Okay, so that you can have a complete look at this matter. So each module will consisting, I will take each module of around 10 to 15 classes to complete each module. So I hope I will going to complete this module 1 in 10 to 12 classes, and in the same way you will see. So 30 to 35 classes I am going to cover all the syllabus. Okay, so the thing is that at the first module is a totally, I mean first module here totally is this basic things. If you will understand and this first chapter, then it will be very much easier, or you will get a very good sound knowledge to understand all this rest of the part. So at least my suggestion is to all of you is to at least listen this first module carefully, or you should go through all these first module. This is the basic parts of vibrations. You need to understand what exactly this vibration, what are the different types of vibrations, the different modes of vibrations, the how these vibrations will arises, what are the different regions of vibrations, what are the different applications of vibrations. All these things are there. If you will understand this basic concept of vibration, then you will face very much little bit of difficult to understand all these things. So what I mean to say is that I will take around 3 class, I mean 3 lecture to cover this first module. So at least all of you, those who are attending the class, is at least concentrate on this 3 lecture, so that it will be lots of easier for all of you to understand the rest of the part. Okay, so to understand all these things, so we'll have some books that mostly what I prefer to take your lectures is that I will mostly consider this W.T. Thompson. This is the W.T. Thompson. This first part is this W.T. Thompson, and this S.S. Rao, and this Graham Kelly. These are the standard books that you can refer. Okay, that you can refer. Also, you can refer this J.S. Rao and K. Gupta also. But mostly, if you see the problematic part, and actually all these books have different notations, and so you will get confused. So what I suggest to all of you is to, for practicing purpose, you can refer BP Singh for practicing problem, because here lots of examples also are there, solved examples are there, for the better understanding of this subject. Okay, and also all these other books is also having solved examples, but as far as my convenience, I think, or also it will be little bit of easier to understand this BP Singh for if you are going through this subject for the very first time. But if you want to go in details to study all these vibration concepts, then you can refer the other reference book also. But my suggestion is to go through this BP Singh book. What is this PDF I will going to share with you, so that you can start reading all this vibration chapter. All these things as per the BPUT syllabus, everything is given on this book, BP Singh. Okay, that is Dhanpad Rao publication. Also you can, and if you are coming to the college, you can also, I think you have digital library access now. You can access this copy from your digital library book. Okay, so anyhow, this is how what exactly your syllabus is all about, and the books you refer, or I'll share these books so that you can read it, and in between you can share other things also. Lots of things has to be shared. So this is what about your syllabus and all these things. So coming to your course structure, are you able to see these slides? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So coming to
Yes,
the
sir.
course, okay. So coming to the course structure, you have I have prepared your, I mean, course structure like this. So you have we have three module. As you have three module, as you have three module 1, 2, 3, we have seen. So each module will consist of around 10 to 12 class. So I will take around 30 to 35 classes to cover up all these module or these subjects. Okay. So I think in the first internal, I will try to cover this module 1 and half part of this module 2. So in the second internal, I will have part of this module 2 and 3. Okay. So I will try to finish in this manner. So in internal 1 and 2 you have 30 marks, as you have I think all of you are acquainted with these systems, like internal 1 and 2, 30 marks, that is 15 marks, and quiz you have 5 marks, assignment 5 marks, attendance 5 marks. I have skipped that surprise test, and in place of that surprise test I have mentioned one point called project, 5 marks, in which you will have to submit one small project, that is kind of a MATLAB programming. So you'll have to write some code for that MATLAB, for using that MATLAB, and you will have to submit that project, a small project. I mean, you can anyhow, all of you can, I hope you can submit that. So you'll have these 50 marks I have distributed in this manner. Okay, so this is how your course structure will be looks like. So coming to that books, so as I have already told you, so these books is W.T. Thompson's and S.S. Rao, Graham Kelly, B.P. Singh's, most of the things is there. You can refer any of the books. All the books will be available in your, I think, in your digital library. You can ask that Artha Babu to get these digital books. Okay, so this is how you can go through all these books. In between I will try to share if I have some PDF, so to better understanding of these subjects. Okay, so if you see all these concepts, you will have see. So what in module 1 we have 3 chapters, as you have seen. In the first chapter, what are the learning outcomes, or what we are going to learn out of this first chapter. In the first chapter we have you can see this you can learn the actually what is the history of vibrations, where does this vibration comes from, and the indicate what indicates the importance of study of vibration. Actually you mostly learn why you are studying these vibrations, and if you are studying the vibrations, then what is the importance of vibrations. So after studying this importance of vibration, you can also have an idea on this chapter of what are the different types of vibration, that is classifications of vibrations. Also there are different ways of solving this vibration problem, so that things you can easily learn in vibration analysis. So the steps involved in vibration analysis. Also in this first chapter you can able to learn some spring constant, mass, damping. These are called the basic components of your vibrating equipments. Okay, this compute these values of spring constant, masses, and damping constants, all these things. So also, so this harmonic analysis or this harmonic motion. So as we know that we have various types of motion like periodic motions, harmonic motions, all these things. So also you can learn from this chapter, and addition and subtraction of harmonic motions and all these things you can learn from this chapter. Also you have another function is that, as I have told you, we have either periodic motion or harmonic motion in this vibration. So if we are going for this periodic motion, that periodic motions can be analyzed with or can be mathematically written in Fourier series expansion. That Fourier series expansion also you can see in the very first chapter. So this is the, I mean, a brief about what we are going to learn on this first chapter. So if you'll see the what exactly you can see what exactly is the contents of this first lecture. That is what we are going to learn throughout this chapter. But today we are only going to discuss on this major 5 topics, that is your mechanical vibrations, importance of study of vibrations, basic concept of vibrations, classifications of vibrations, and your regions of vibrations. So mostly I'll try to give you a small idea about how these vibrations will just coming into the minds of people. Okay, so and all these things we can discuss here, the study of vibration and all these things. So I'll discuss what exactly this brief history of vibrations. So if you see this importance of study of vibrations, so you can see where does it this history of vibrations comes from. So initially what happened, and I mean it is starting from 582 to 507 BC before Christ, as the scientist called Pythagoras. That is, he is a Greek philosopher or mathematician. He has started thinking about this concept, what exactly this vibration is, through a musical instrument, or probably called whistles or drums, that you usually play that whistles or drums, right? So he started thinking about what exactly is this sound coming from, where does it this sound coming from. So what he has done, he has taken a monochord, and he started thinking about what exactly happened when the strings is stressed in by giving some weight. So what he did, he has taken he has taken he has taken a he has taken a tabular wooden block. This is the wooden block. And he has put 3 stands in that wooden block. Okay, in that wooden block, and he has put one string by attaching all these all these stands, and put a dead weight on the free end of that string. So what happened, by using a pulley, so what happened, that string, this is the string, this is the string, that string is stretched completely, or it will have a certain tension on this string, because we will have some dead weight at the free end. So 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 as we have 1 and 2 here, as you have 1 and 2, it's traced already. So the tension here in between point 1 and 2 is almost
equally divided, as this distance between this 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 is almost same. This distance is almost equal. So the tension in between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 is almost equal. So what happened, if we are shifting these positions either in this way or in this side. So what happened, this as the distance between the two stops will be either decrease in this case. Let us see, this is the point 2. Let us see the first case. If this stop is displacing in this side, so this is the new position of 2. So what happened, the point 1 and 2, the distance is very small as compared to the point 2 and 3. So the tension here will be little bit of higher as compared to the tension between this 2 and 3, the new positions of 2 and 3. So it will try to lose, it will have less tension. Due to the less tension, when we are putting weight, the frequency of displacement, and in this case will be higher, because it has high tension and now it has low tension. Due to the low tension, on the string will vibrate more. So if it will vibrate more, or the amplitude of vibration will be in this case will be more, then obviously there will be more displacement. If more displacement will be there, obviously the sound will come in this part. So similarly, he is trying to find out what happened if I will displace the position 2 in this side. So if the stop 2 is displaced in this side, now this part is smaller and this part is larger. So obviously the tension will be high here and the tension will be less in this part. So obviously the sound will come from this part. So he is trying to get some idea about from this experiment, that when the tension will be very, or the tension will be less, and obviously the displacement will be more, and once the displacement will be more, that sounds will be larger. So if you see, the displacement will be more, the vibrations will be more in this case. So what he observed, or if two like string means is point 1 and 2, the distance between point 1 and 2 is same as between distance 2 and 3. If the two like strings of different length are subject to the same tension, the shorter one emits higher note. If the shorter string is half the length of the longer one, the shorter one emits note at an octave above the others. So this is how he has trying to find out what exactly is this vibrations on thinking about. But he has not, but this Pythagoras has done this experiment, but he has not performed any written document on his name, but this Galileo, the scientist called Galileo, what he did after this Pythagoras, he has trying to study about the simple pendulum, by observing the pendulum movement of a lamp in a church in Pisa. So he tried to study the importance of simple pendulum. So what exactly is the simple pendulum? This pendulum is almost like this. You can see this pendulum is like this. So Galileo tried to yes, anyone? Okay, so this Galileo tried to study the behavior of this pendulum. So when this pendulum will in the rest position, in the initial position, it will be in the constant. But if we little bit of displace this, then either it will go in this way or it will go in this way. So it had some movement. So what exactly this movement is all about, and why this movement is occurring, why this ball is not moving in this straight direction, why it is moving in this direction. So all these questions come into his mind, and he started thinking about what exactly this vibration is all about. So this is this vibration concept is started from the year like in 582 to 507 before Christ. So I'll in details I have actually one document I will share you. So what you need to do is that you need to this concept this from this year to uh, till now, what exactly this development is has been done regarding this vibration, and you will have to check it. Okay, so I'll share one document which is having a complete evaluation of vibration from this year to till date. So you can, what you need to do is that you need to I have I have in the Word document format, but you need to read that document, and you need to read that document, and you need to form it into tabular form. You need to convert it into a tabular form, so that year wise what you have the vibration is all about, what you can learn actually how this evaluation has been done with respect to vibration. So this brief history of vibration, study of vibration is all about. So starting from this musical instrument, all these things are there from before Christ to after death. Also you can, all these things are there. So what you need to do is that I will share this document today with all of you. You need to create one table, okay, that is having serial number and year. Year means that whatever year you are having, on what year which scientist has done what for the development of these vibrations. Are you ready or not? Anyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yeah. So you need to put all these documents in one format, year wise, scientist, and what the scientist has done for the development of vibration. So how this vibration has been evaluated, that from which year to which up to till date. So you need to get all these things, so that you will get a brief idea how this vibration has been evaluated or evolved throughout this year. So this is what a complete I mean how this vibration has been evaluated. So we can so in between I will go through it, all these things. So another example you can see, the one scientist called Zhang Heng, and from China. What he has done on for the development of these vibrations, and actually earthquake, right? While earthquake is there, so to measure before, actually during that period, that 132 AD 132, during that period they don't know how to measure that seismograph, that is called that earthquake, how much amount of earthquake will be occurring. So what he did is that he has taken in one pot, in that pot or in that pot one pendulum is there, in pendulum, okay, such kind of pendulum will be there. And if the earthquake will be happen, then that pendulum is attached with the dragon. These are the dragon heads. So what happened, this dragon head is having one ball on his mouth, so if the earthquake will be happen, then this is pot, the one simple pendulum will be attached in between or inside this pot. So that or a simple pendulum, or you can say it is a like a cam follower type of mechanism. And so if earthquake will happen, that will displace its movement in the upward side. Once it will movement once the movement will be on the upward side, then the dragon on face will be open. Once the dragon face will be open, that ball will fall into the mouth of this frog. Okay, so the frog will be there. So these are all like kind of model. Okay, this is not the actual part. This is kind of dolls or model. So these are placed exactly below this dragon on head, so that once the earthquake will be there, so it can be open and it will fall. So they will measure what is the amount of earthquake out of it. Okay, so using that, actually you can know what is the displacement. So properly if you see, for example, I will tell you, suppose this is the pendulum, and we are giving some displacement from this side. Suppose this earthquake will be, if earthquake will be there in this side, and it will displace this is r it will displace this surface to some extent, then obviously it will give some force. It will give some force to this ball, and it will have some displacement on this side. Once it will displace, then obviously there will be some tension will be arises at this part. So due to that mechanism, so it will open up its mouth and it will measure. So they try to measure what is this displacement. Once this displacement has been measured, then they can able to know what is the amount of earthquake they are getting in this region. So this is how they also try to think about these vibrations. So this is after death of 132. So in this year they have developed, like, so in this way it has been evaluated. And since now there are many such advances in the vibrations, and people have started thinking of so many things, how this vibration is all about, and all these things. So people started in a varieties of way. So all these varieties can be explained here. So you can see how this evaluation has been done until 1930, 1920, 1945. All this year has been given here, up to here. Okay, so you can go through it and see. So what exactly is this pendulum? When this string is attached, and in the lower part at one ball has been there. So Bob, one scientist, he has done that. Once this pendulum is being simple pendulum has been done, and it had some to and fro motion. It have some to and fro motion. Just a minute. Yes. So it has some to and fro motions. That to and fro motion can be the reason for the oscillation of this pendulum. So using that also, that will also create a major part. So if we'll plot this in this displacement versus time curve, or you can see the motions will be like either in that sinusoidal form. So all this can be a part of this your vibration concept. You can discuss in details what exactly if it is the distance of this string is L, and if it is theta, so what exactly this length of this is L theta, and this if this ball will be in this position, then obviously it will go to a higher position, this ball, and what exactly this length of this ball is all about. So we can measure this height also.
So that will also, I mean, we will discuss in details exactly the displacement and amplitude. All these things will come into this picture of these vibrations. Like, so this is how, I mean, a history of your vibrations and so like come forward when how this thing is evolved. All and this using all these equipments, people are started thinking so about these vibrations, and also once they know exactly this vibration will plays a very critical role for failure of any component, right? For failure of any component, this vibration will plays a very important role. So people started thinking how to avoid these vibrations. So there are various ways of avoiding vibrations. We will see on details one by one. So before avoiding, so in total I can say is that, or you should know, this vibration is a very failure quantity. I mean, once you are not overcome this vibration, then obviously we will get one failure. Obviously, those who are using bikes, you can feel that vibrations. While if you have some come across any homes and all these things, right? I think most of you have observed that kind of vibrations. This is kind of example I am giving on, and also you have seen, if you'll see, if you have seen in this electric pole, if you have seen some electric pole, so what happened initially while this electric pole has been set up, you can see the wires are in tension, but after certain year, if you have observed, this wire has been in like this. Have you observed this thing? I mean, most of you have maybe observed. So what happened? So I think in if I'll will tell you in details. If you see in the Tata while coming to your college, in the Tata colony, that Narendrapur and Tata colony, you can see one wire is coming across is a huge electric pole to here, and this will always create some sounds. Those who have observed, or they may feel these things, because this is what happened due to this wind speed, because here wind speed is generally high as compared to the other parts of Odisha. Generally the wind speed is very high here, so due to the wind speed, this will displace this movement of this electric pole. There will be some vibrations arises here. So this is what, some kind of, everywhere there will be some vibrations. There will be some vibration. Either this vibration may be due to some winds, due to some external forces. So if mostly these vibrations will be due to some external forces. So you can consider this is one term you will always remember, this uh, external forces. These external forces, thus only due to this the vibrations will be arises. Vibrations will not arises automatically, right? Once, suppose if this pendulum is in stable condition or in this initial position, does the vibration will arise? No, there will be no vibration. Once you are disturbing this pendulum, disturbing means what? You are giving a external force. You are disturbing means you are giving a external force. Once you are disturb that any equipment, then only it will get disturbed. Once it will disturb, it will have some vibrations in this string, right? That is what, always remember, due to some external forces only these vibrations will arises, or some inherent forces where it is running. If it is in the running condition, or if running condition, then obviously there will be, due to some wear and tear, there will be some vibration. If it is in static condition, until and unless there will be no external force, there will be no vibrations. Are you getting or not? So these are the things you should keep it in your mind. So let us see why exactly we will study this vibration. Before I will discuss also what exactly is vibration, you should know what is the importance of study of vibration. So as you have seen in the large industrial sector, there are lots of heavy machinery. So in heavy machinery, either this faulty design,
either this faulty design or due to this poor manufacture, there is unbalance in the engines, which causes excessive and unpleasant stresses in the rotating system because of vibrations. So I'll give you, suppose you'll consider this is one bearing and this is another bearing, or you can consider this is the rear wheel of your car. This is the rear wheel. This is the rear wheel of your car. While the car is in moving condition, so consider this is the front wheel. So the front wheel, obviously it will rotate. The gearbox will be here. So this wheel will be rotate. Once this wheel will rotate, obviously the wheel, how this wheel will rotate due to the rotation of the shaft. So this shaft will rotate, continuously rotating. Continuously, due to this continuously rotating, if this shaft is not made up of with proper manufacturing, or if there will be some defects here, or the bearing whatever attached on this shaft is in the faulty design, then obviously there will be vibration in your car. What if any one of you have drive the car, you can feel that if there will be some difference, if there will be some problems will be there in this part, then obviously you will feel the vibration in your steering head. Or else also, if you are riding a bike also, if your bike has not done in proper conditions, or there will be some loosening of your bolt, or some mechanical parts, so there will be some vibrations you are definitely get, or you will definitely feel it, right? So this is one kind of faulty design or poor manufacture is one of the reasons for the because of vibrations. So vibration may cause this rapid wear. Wear means what? Wear means this is a wear and tear. Wear and tear, when obviously you can see, I'll show you how this wear and tear of machine part, such as bearings, because due to this wear is nothing but the loss of material. Due to the wear, there is loss of materials. Once the loss of material will be there, then you can say it is a wear and tear of that particular material. So where there will be loss of material? When there is friction. When there is friction, there will be loss of material. So when there will be friction will only arises, loss of material will be there when there is friction. So when there is friction, where the frictions will arises? When there is rubbing of two components. When there is rubbing of two components, there is friction. Once friction will be there will be loss of material. Once loss of material will be there, then the wear and tear will arises. Are you getting or not? So this rapid wear, these vibrations also one of the reasons for this rapid wear. When this rubbing, if there is two surface rubs, if there is two surface is rubbing around each other, two surface, this is moving in this direction and this is moving in this direction. So two surface are in the rubbing with each other. So there will be vibrations here in between these two surface. Frictions will be there, loss of material will be there. So due to this vibration, there will be some rapid wear. So this is also one kind of reasons, or one kind of things that you are getting out of this vibration. So many buildings, structure and bridges collapses because of these vibrations. You have seen in most of the time in your news channel in Mumbai, the very old buildings has got collapses. Why this is collapses? Because due to the faulty design, there will be some vibrations in the uh, uh, buildings also. You have seen in the if you have come across in your new boys hostel that has been there in the PMEC campus, you have seen there are many patches has been done, and in order to avoid this collapses. You can observe in between two block of your hostels, in between two blocks of your hostel, there is some patch mark is there, using that steel sheet using that patch mark is there, in order to, and by knowingly they have given some
gap in between these two blocks, and some patch mark is there, because due to this vibration these two buildings should not be in collide with each other. Once it will collide, then obviously the whole building will get collapsed. So by knowingly they have given some gap. So that also comes under your faulty design. So many building and structure and bridges may collapse because of this vibration also, right? So that may be one reason. Sometimes due to heavy vibration, proper readings of instrument cannot be taken. So as you know that in most of you have seen the lathe machine, if you have seen it will vibrate your job. You cannot take that readings properly if you want to calculate the vibration of your job. So you cannot take calculately. So this is how all these region. So due to all these region, and you can region the important this study of vibration, or to analyze this vibration, is mostly essential. So in order to analyze all these fault or design obviously all these things are there into our day-to-day daily life. So we need to know what exactly this vibration is. Once you can avoid these vibrations, so you can save so many lives, as well as you can save so much of cost also. So if you are capable of a good if you are capable of a good design engineer, yeah, you can save lots of life, if as well as you can save lots of life, as well as lots of life also you can save, or lots of life you can save, as well as lots of lots of money that has been invested in buildings or structure or bridges. You have seen day to day life, daily you are in that news, some bridge has been collapsed, right? So it is always there in that news, was that bridge has been collapsed, some building collapsed, some structure collapsed. So you can save, if you are a good design engineer, and you can avoid all these vibrations, you can save many lives, if as well as you can save some money also, right? So these are the importance why you are studying these vibrations. I hope you are getting a sound idea about this history of vibrations and why we are studying these vibrations, right? So you all are there, right? Or I'm speaking?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Okay, so I think all of you have at least a little idea about this history of vibration and the importance of study of vibrations, why we are studying these vibrations, right? So so let us see now the next slide will be actually what exactly this vibration is all about. So this vibration is nothing but, if you see in definition wise, or if you'll ask, the 2 marks questions will be there, like what exactly this vibration is all about. So you can write it, it is like or you can say the definitions. It is a mechanical phenomenon where oscillations occur about an equilibrium point. as I have as I have as I have discussed in your simple pendulum case, you can call this vibration as the mechanical phenomenon where oscillation occur about an equilibrium point. Once a to and fro motions will be there will be some displacement. Once the displacement will be there will be some amplitude changes. Once the amplitude changes will be there, or there will be some oscillation. Once the oscillations will be there, you will get some vibrations. Okay, so this is the, I mean, vibrations is mostly, you can say it like, it like an oscillations occur about an equilibrium point. You can say it in a very short sentence. You can define this vibration as oscillation occur about an equilibrium point. So any motion that repeats itself after an equal interval of time, also we can say it like that. This is kind of a periodic vibrations. Once I'll give you an example, so you can easily say that any motion that repeats itself after an equal interval of time. So in periodic motions, what happened, it will just like, it will give a zero. So if it will displacement and time, you can say this with respect to zero, I mean with respect to some, there will be zero displacement, and after certain time it will displace like this. So you can say it It's a periodic motion, periodic oscillation, any motion that repeat itself after equal interval of time. So this time interval is almost fixed for every displacement. So oscillations can be periodic, so that is what oscillations can be periodic or random. So periodic means this is the kind of after if the motion is repeated after equal interval of time, this is called periodic oscillation. Okay, random means there will be, I mean, this random vibrations. I think most of you are I can say most of you are in random vibrations. What does that mean? That means your heartbeat is in random vibration or periodic vibration. Can you say? Sometimes your heartbeat is your heartbeat has some oscillations like this, or sometimes if you have seen some horror movie or if you have seen some adventurous things, your heartbeat is suddenly rises, or when you are in romantic conditions your heartbeat is in very smooth conditions, right? But if you are going to die, then your heartbeat is in this condition. So this is how your with respect to time your heartbeat rate is changing, right? So you can say it as a random oscillation, you can say it as a random oscillation, right? So what does this mean? If you see in clearly, the amplitude is changing, the amplitude is changing, the amplitude is changing means your vibrations is changing, vibration is changing with respect to time. So with respect to time, if the amplitude is changing, then that is called as your random oscillations, right? So oscillations can be either periodic or random. If it is in varies in equal interval of time, then it is called periodic oscillation, right? Triangular shape, like this periodic can be in the triangular shape like this, but it will very again it will fall down, and again it will come in the same stage. So it will vary in a periodic manner. It will vary in a periodic manner. So either it will be in triangular or in the rectangular shape. You can say this periodic motion, the motion which repeat itself after equal interval of time. Okay, so for each, see, so for each periodic motion we can write the equations. What exactly happened in vibrations? Vibrations will mostly we can convert a physical system into a mathematical condition, right? So suppose in a, consider this is the random motion, this is the random motion. Suppose consider this is your heartbeat. Okay, so your heartbeat is a physical system, and how we can measure the heartbeat rate? How we can measure the heartbeat rate? For a normal person, around 72 to 80, 72 to 80 pulse per second or what minute, whatever it is. Okay, pulse per second or pulse per minute, whatever
Minute,
it is.
sir,
So
minute.
pulse per minute, whatever it is, you can see 72 pulse per or beat per second or something like that. So you can see you are converting a physical system. So your heartbeat, whatever heartbeat we have, so you are converting a physical system into a mathematical system, right? Into a mathematical system. But how you are converting a physical system into a mathematical system? I think most of you know about a pulse meter. A pulse meter from which you can measure the pulse rate, right? You can measure the pulse rate. So
Yes, sir.
what is the actually the mechanism behind this, or in between what exactly this mechanism is working? So that is what we are calculating using mathematics, using calculating using mathematics. Okay, so converting a physical system into mathematical equations, and then from that mathematical equations you are writing one we are drawing some conclusions, right? That is what actually happened
and in this case vibration analysis. So whatever any kind of physical systems we are converting in, we are writing in mathematical form, or we can write in this derivative form, right? We can write in derivative form. That we are going to discuss in details about this Fourier transmission, how we can write this equation. Suppose we can write it like this: is this is x and this is time period t. Okay, so if you consider this is a line, line is equal to what? Y is equal to mx. Y is equal to mx. You can write a straight line. Y is equal to mx.
Yes, sir.
M is what? M is nothing but a slope, or you can write y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1. So this coordinate is having x and y also. This coordinate is having x and y also, but here our x is t and y is 0. But here x is 0 and y is x. So you can get the slope, right?
So where you are indicating, sir?
What?
Where you have indicated? Okay, sir.
Are you getting or not? So
Yes.
from this line you can write y is equal to mx. So the slope you can write, you can find out of this slope for this line. Okay, 0 x t and 0, right? So that is what you can write this equation of this line. Once you will write the equation of this line, then you can write the equation of this line also. So we are capable of writing equations for this particular periodic time period. Okay, so in this way you can also write the equations for this periodic part. Also you can write this periodic part. So suppose there are so many things, because if you see in the random motion there are so many vibrations, but how to express all these vibration in a single term, that is what come into picture your Fourier series, right? So you can write, you can see in the Fourier series transformations, you can see in the Fourier series how to convert all these things in a equation mathematical form. So you can try to convert this physical system into a mathematical form. Okay, that we will clearly discuss in your I think in next class or next to next class. So in next to next class we can convert all these things. You can see how to convert this physical system into your mathematical terms, and then what exactly using, if you are able to calculate this mathematical form, you will have to derive these equations. Okay, actually what happened in this mechanical vibration chapter, or throughout this subject, we are going to learn only these two things, right? Are you getting or not? Keep it in your mind, those who are listening carefully. Those who are listening carefully, keep it in your mind. Only a physical system is to be converted into mathematical form, and once you are able to write in mathematical form, we will have to write in all the derivative terms, right? All the derivative terms we will have to convert all the physical system into derivative terms, and then we will have to solve that derivative into a particular equations by using certain rules. We have certain rules, we have our different method to solve that mathematical derivative into certain mathematical equations, right? So only this part is there in your vibrations. But if you are going for nonlinear vibrations and other things, then and you can see how these mathematical derivations, that equations, that finally you can, after solving that equations, whatever final equations you got, how to convert that equation into your final conclusion. How you can conclude, how you can convert this mathematical equation into final conclusion? By using certain programming language, right? By using certain programming language, that either you can convert it into MATLAB or any other software. So that equations is to be solved using proper programming language. Okay, so that is what is all about, how the conversions is there
throughout your vibrations, right? So only in throughout your vibration chapter, or you are going to discuss only the conversion of physical system into your mathematical form, and then this mathematical form is to be converted into or solved into a particular equation, right? Only this thing is there throughout the whole. I am telling the whole concept. So everywhere on each chapter, either you are going for damped, undamped, or free, post or continuous vibrations, or single degree freedom, multi degree freedom system, all wherever or we are going, we are only converting a physical model into a mathematical form. This single point, you keep it in your mind, we are converting a physical system into a mathematical form. Okay, so this is what art is all about. I mean, how this vibration will be evaluated and all these things. So I'll give you one brief idea about how exactly this measuring of all these things is there. So if you are going for a simple harmonic motion, mostly if this vibration is not periodic or not random, so you are considering in the motion is in simple harmonic motions, as you have gone through that simple pendulum case. So simple harmonic motion, and the simple harmonic motions can be either in sinusoidal form, or sine curve, or cosine curve, right? As you know that this is a what kind of curve? Can you tell me? Sine or cosine? Anyone? Manas?
Yes, sir, it is sine. Cosine, sir, sorry.
Yeah. So this is a cosine curve, because if we are starting from origin, then there will be some
Values
then
there.
then that is sine curve,
Yes.
right? So this is one sine curve, this is the cosine curve.
So the black one is cosine.
That is what C, and this red one is sine curve, right? So mostly in simple harmonic motion, or whatever or vibrations is there, or we are considering that vibration in either in sinusoidal form. This is called sinusoidal form. So in this sinusoidal form, what happened, and this is the mean line, or you can say in the x-axis displacement is there, in the y-axis in the y-axis displacement is there, and in the x-axis time is there, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the y-axis displacement is there, and in the x-axis time is there. So whatever displacement you have in the simple harmonic motion, whatever displacement you have, either there is, suppose consider this is the pendulum, and whatever displacement you have in this direction or in these directions, that displacement can measure here, and that is called your amplitude, right? And that displacement is called as your amplitude. So this is the amplitude, this is the amplitude, this is the amplitude. It may vary sometime. If it is a simple harmonic motions, all this amplitude will be in the same. If it is random vibration, see, you can measure this amplitude. This amplitude is very high, this amplitude is very low, this amplitude is high, again it will come down, and again it will negative. So this will vary. So where the amplitude will vary, that is called as your random vibration, right?
Yes.
So where are these your simple harmonic motions, almost the amplitude is almost constant, and you can see the time period from this point to any particular line, to any particular point. It's a time period. You can see these things in this particular fashion. Suppose you are going for this cosine curve, you can go for this time period. This is called the time period. So all this definition of this time period, what exactly is time period, what exactly is this amplitude, what is the frequency. So you can measure for a particular time period what is the frequency. Suppose if we'll see for this, if we'll see, I can say that for this particular time period, what is the frequency? What is the frequency means the total one cycle. If one cycle will complete,
then that is one frequency, right? So suppose consider this, from this point if you are going, this cycle will complete at where? The cycle will complete almost in these positions, right? So one cycle, this is called one cycle. Are you getting or not? This is called one cycle. So one cycle means frequency will be your frequency you can calculate by taking the time period. Okay, so you can see the different definitions of this time period, cycle, frequency, what is the natural frequency, and all these things. So what are, let us see first what are the different terminologies that has been used in these vibrations. So you can see that things also, right? Let us see the terminology used in vibrations. So time period is nothing but time taken to complete one cycle. That is what I have just informed you or just told you. Just time taken to complete one cycle. Frequency is number of cycles per unit time. Number of cycles per unit time means per unit time. What is the number of cycles for a particular region? If you see the same length, suppose consider for the same time period, what is the cycles here in this case, random vibration case? What is the case in random vibrations? Can you hello?
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
See,
Yes, sir.
see, for simple harmonic motion, we have seen for this particular time period we have only one cycle. But for random vibrations, you can see for this particular time period, what is this? How many number of cycles is there? There are so many number of cycles. Are you getting the difference or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
See,
Yes,
so
sir.
that is what I mean to say is that for the same, if you are considering the same time period, there will be different frequency. For the same time period in random vibration, there will be different frequency. For the same time period in the simple harmonic motion, there will be different frequency. So the frequency will change according to your vibration, right? So that is what frequency is nothing but the number of cycles per unit time. Number of cycles per unit time. Amplitude is what? Maximum displacement of a vibrating body from its equilibrium position. That is what I told you. The amplitude is nothing but from this initial position to this maximum displacement, right? That is what maximum displacement of a vibrating body from its equilibrium position is nothing but your amplitude. And what exactly is this natural frequency? When there will be no external force acts on the system after giving it an initial displacement, the body vibrates. These vibrations are called free vibration and their frequency as natural frequency. As I have already told you by using that simple pendulum case, as we have already discussed, if this body is in equilibrium positions and we are giving an external force, once we are giving an external force and leave it, okay, just push it and leave it, so obviously it will have some displacement from this position to this placement. After certain time it will again come to the equilibrium position, right? So during that period of time, what exactly is this frequency? That frequency is known as natural frequency, right? So without giving any external force or so when no external force acts on the system after giving an initial displacement, whatever frequency you are measuring, that frequency is called as your natural frequency, right? So what exactly this fundamental mode of vibration? Fundamental mode of vibration is nothing but this the system is a mode having lowest natural frequency. Actually in vibrations we are having so many different mode 1, mode 2, mode 3, mode 4, like all these things. So on which mode your lowest natural frequency will be there, that is called as your fundamental mode of vibration. Mostly in natural frequency condition, mostly in the natural frequency conditions we are getting the lowest natural frequency. I mean mostly that free vibration and we are getting the mode 1, and in the mode 1 we are getting the fundamental mode of vibration. So you can consider in this way, lowest natural frequency tends to your fundamental mode of vibrations, right?
Yes.
So the other terminology that are involved in this vibration is, you can consider this your random, you can consider this, you can consider is your degree of freedom. So I think in machine design you have gone through what exactly is this degree of freedom, so I am not much more focused on this degree of freedom part. So let just explain what exactly is this degree of freedom. Suppose any system which is having the different coordinate system to measure its position. So once if a system is there, and you can measure, there are different variety of you can measure its position through how many angles. Okay, so or you can say the independent coordinates that is required to specify the position of the or motion of the systems at any instant is known as degree of freedom of the system. So we can go through. So what exactly this number of independent coordinate to define a particular position of a body, that is called the degree of freedom. You can see by taking certain examples what how many degree of freedom is there for a cantilever beam, how many degree of freedom is there for a simply supported beam, how many degree of freedom is there for a beam under tension. So you can see all these things. So in simple harmonic motion, the motion of a body to and fro conditions. If the motion of the body is in to and fro condition on about a fixed point, that is called a simple harmonic motion. Or you can say this pendulum is a example of the simple harmonic motion. And the most important terminology that is used throughout your vibration is damping. You need to consider what exactly is damping. Okay, so those who are writing, you can write this damping. It is the resistance to the motion of a vibrating body. The vibration associated with this resistance are known as damped vibration, or else I can say you the like or else I can say you by this damping is nothing but, most of you have seen in your bike, in the front wheel there is a suspension. Suppose this is the suspension of your bike, this is the suspension of your bike, right? Front wheel, consider this is the front wheel and this is the suspension attached. So what happened when there will be humps, here, the bike, obviously the suspension will work, right? The suspension will work. So what happened, this you can consider this as a damper. This damper, or in vibration the damping symbol is like this, sorry, like this. Okay, so this will oscillate, this part will oscillate. This is the cylinder, and it will oscillate, this damping. That is called, it is the resistance to the motion of a vibrating body. It is the resistance to the motion of a vibrating body. When the bike will cross these humps, there will be some vibration. So this vibration, this suspension will resist the vibration, so that it will not absorb to your, so that it will not transmit to your hand. Are you getting or not? So this resistance to the motion of a vibrating body is called as your damping. Okay, so mostly we are going to use this damping coefficient. So you can note down on this damping symbol is like this in vibrations. Mostly we are using. So wherever you will find this, you can consider this as damping, and mostly we are denoting this damping as damping coefficient as C. Okay, C as damping coefficient. Mostly you can consider C as damping coefficient. Okay, so we'll see that things in details in free vibrations while we are discussing. So phase difference is what, as we have already told you, we have discussed in here. So if this is the sinusoidal curve,
and this is the cosine curve. So there will be some phase difference in between these two curves. Suppose if I'll mention this sine curve as, suppose if I'll this x denoting as, in this sine curve denoting is an motion, the motion of the sinusoidal curve, the motion of the sine curve is denoting is x1. So this x1 can be represented as, suppose consider this amplitude is a1. So a1 sine omega t. Omega is nothing but the frequency and time period. So x1, if we are considering the sine curve as x1 and sine x1 is equal to a1 sine omega t, then you can consider if this phase difference will be there, then x2 will be nothing but the same there will be some different amplitude a2 sine omega t plus or minus phi, right? So this phi is nothing but there is some phase difference between these two curves, right? Hello. Are you my voice is audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this
Yes,
phi
sir.
is this phi is nothing but called as the phase difference between these two curves, right? So that is called as your phase difference. So that is what I will told you, just x1 is equal to a1 sin omega t, x2 is equal to a2 sin omega t plus phi. So this phi is nothing but your phase difference. Resonance. This is also one of the most important point, I mean important terminology that is continuously using throughout this vibration. So I can say in details, if you will see, all this vibration is we are discussing all this vibration due to this single point, that is resonance, or we can say that due to the resonance only we are all discussing this vibration. So what exactly this resonance? Resonance is nothing but when the frequency of external excitation means what? External force that we are applying, right? So whatever frequency is generated due to this external excitation, if that will be equal to, if this the frequency of external excitation is equal to the natural frequency of a vibrating body. Natural frequency means what? When there will be no external excitation. Are you getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you so that is what, when there will be external excitation, and due to this external excitation there will be some frequency, and without applying the external force also there will be some natural frequency. If both these frequency will equal, then there will be resonance. Or else you can say the frequency that is generated due to external excitation and the frequency that is generated due to this natural frequency of a vibrating body, if both the frequency are equal, then resonance will arise. So what happened when both the frequency will arise? When both the frequency will come into when both the frequency are equal, resonance will arise. So what happened when the resonance will arise?
Then system will collapse.
Then the system will collapse. I will give you one practical example. Suppose this is one footbridge. Okay, consider this is one footbridge. Okay, suppose consider this this footbridge is having, obviously, with when there will be nobody is moving around here, there will be some natural frequency of this footbridge. If some continuous load or someone is traveling here in this case, so due to the traveling whatever, or due to the continuous movement of the certain persons, if whatever frequency will arise,
and this natural frequency will coincide, or the frequency, or consider there are certain peoples are moving around in this year. The natural frequency of this footbridge is having, consider 5 hertz. Consider the natural frequency of this footbridge is 5 hertz, and people are moving around here and there. Excessive people are moving. Okay, due to the excessive people, the frequency of this vibration is now tends to 6 hertz. So obviously more load will be there on this bridge. Once more load will be there on this bridge means obviously this frequency will be more. Once as compared to this natural frequency, if this forced frequency is more than the natural frequency, then obviously that bridge will get collapsed. Are you getting or not? So that is why we always try to calculate its the whatever frequency will have, that whatever forced frequency will have, that should be less than the natural frequency. While you are designing anything, you should design on such a way that whatever frequency you will get, that should not get your natural frequency. Okay, that means always your external frequency should be less than your natural frequency. It should not be equal to or greater than the natural frequency. Once the external frequency will be equal or greater than the natural frequency, then the system will get collapse, or it is in the resonance condition, right? I hope these things will clear, right? So
damping coefficient is small c or capital C?
yes, can you be little bit of louder?
That damping coefficient which is noted by C, it is capital C or small c?
Small c. That we will discuss in detail. Okay, that how to calculate. Actually, just in the upcoming slide, I will show you how to notify all these things. Okay, I'll show you. This is a small c only. This damping coefficient. Damping is different thing, and damping coefficient is different thing. So I'll show you this thing. Okay. So next thing is your mechanical system. Mostly in vibration means it, you must keep it in your mind, means only we are playing with in these three terminology, or in these three, your vibration is finished, or your whole vibration film is finished by using these three characters, right? Consider this is your hero part. Where is that part? This is your hero, this is your heroine, and this is your villain, right? This is your hero, heroine, and villain, and this vibration is finished with these three characters: hero, heroine, and villain. This villain is very danger. Damping. Once you will get the damping, then your mass and stiffness, all these things will get collapsed, right? So this is very danger. This villain is very danger. So your whole complete thing, vibration film, you consider your vibration film is based on mass, stiffness, and damping. Hero, heroine, and villain, right? So mechanical system, mostly mechanical system in vibration will consider mass, stiffness, and damping. We will refer to these three things. So this is a component that we are going to discuss these things. So next, coming to the your simple harmonic motion. In simple harmonic motions, you can see. In simple harmonic motions, you can see a body is having certain movement. So it will start from 0 to, it will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and like this. Okay. So suppose that pendulum, if you are considering the pendulum, this is the equilibrium position, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Again it will 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. Okay. So it will move like this. Consider. So if you are plotting it, I think you have plot it in your machine design. If you are plot it like this, it will be a circle. This whole movement will be a simple harmonic motion. So this will be a cycle. So if you plot this in a horizontal way, you will get this point 1, you will get this point 2, 3, 4 on this way. So if you plot it in the sinusoidal form in x and y axis, you will get a sinusoidal form. This is a simple harmonic motion, and in this simple harmonic motions we have amplitude, displacement, time period, frequency, and all these things. So it will be continuously, you will have to continuously using this equation. So mostly if you are going for the equations for this sinusoidal form, we are using this expression x1 is equal to a1 sin omega t, right, where a1 is the what, a1 is the amplitude, x is the what, displacement, and omega is the frequency, and t is the time period. Okay, so this is your initial conditions, I mean initial equations of your sinusoidal form. We will play with these equations throughout these vibrations. We are going to play with this one equations, and another equations will be there if you are going for that what I have told you, y is equal to, I have already discussed this, y is equal to mx. This is the two fundamental or very basic things. Y is equal to mx and x is equal to a1 sin omega t. With these two equations, we are going to start with your vibrations thing, right? Keep it in your mind that when there will be some periodic motions, we will start with this writing this y is equal to mx basic equation, and we will form that equation. And if it is sinusoidal form, we will write with this, we will go ahead with this x1 is equal to a1 sin omega t form, right? So coming to the next thing, and we have your parts of a vibrating system. So what are the different parts of a vibrating system? You can see. So mostly vibration means, as I have already told you, there is a hero, there is a heroine, and there is a what, villain, right? So all your vibration film is considering with your hero, mass, spring, and damper, right? These are the three characters which will help you on defining the system, right? So only these three parts is playing a major role by taking this vibration into a different level. So you can see try to understand what exactly these three terms. Try to read these things, and I'll explain all these things. Exactly, this is mv square. This is square, not b square. This is mv square, half mv square. This is half kf. Okay. So mostly mass is associated with so consider this is your vibrating I mean a body. This vibrating body is having one spring and one damper attached, and at the free end of the spring and damper one mass is attached. Okay, one mass is attached. So what does this first sentence say? This vibrating system basically consists of three elements, namely mass, spring, and damper. In a vibrating body, there is exchange of energy from one form to another. So in a vibrating body, consider this is your vibrating body. So the energy is converting from one form to another. Suppose this spring is having some potential energy. That potential energy is converting into this mass, and this mass will have some kinetic energy, right? Mass will have some kinetic energy. So that is why this, remember always, this mass is always having kinetic energy. That is what it is. Energy is stored by mass in the form of kinetic energy, right? Mass is always having certain kinetic energy, and spring is having always potential energy. This spring is always having potential energy, right? And and dissipated in the damper in the form of heat. So this damping or the damper will always having some heat energy, because there will be some friction. If you see this part, there will be some movement of this to and fro motions will be there in between the inside this damper, and due to this to and fro motion there will be some friction will be generated here, right? So it will, once friction will be generated, heat will dissipated. So our hero mass is having some kinetic energy, he is always fighting among here and there, and our heroine spring is always static, and we all know that whenever a body is in static condition there will be some potential energy, and this damper, this villain is always moving around here and there. So due to that some heat is always generated, he is always angry, this villain is always angry, therefore this heat is always generated, right? So we can say like that, this mass, when you are if without displacement, suppose you are not applying any displacement, this system is called as your free vibration, right?
Sir, when mass will be at rest, then how it will have some kinetic energy, because velocity will be zero, then half mv square will also be zero.
That is what I told you. See, if this is in rest condition, if mass is in rest condition, the spring is in rest condition, damper is in rest condition, initial condition. Consider all these things are in rest position. We are not giving any kind of displacement. We are not giving any kind of displacement. So all these things are in rest. So this rest condition, if you are just pull it and leave it, so obviously there will be some displacement in the mass, there will be some displacement in the spring, there will be some displacement in the damper, and leave it. So after certain time, what, it will again come into its initial positions, right? So that is called as your free vibration. That is called as your free vibrations. When you are giving some initial displacement and leave it, that will give you one free vibration. That is what I will going to explain you in the next topic, that is called free vibration. But if you are continuously applying certain displacement to this body, if you are continuously applying certain displacement to this body, then that is called as your forced vibration, right? And that is called as your forced vibration. Due to this forced vibrations, this mass will have some kinetic energy, right? Because see how, if you are free vibration, that thing actually I will going on discuss in the next topic. So in this part, in this slide, you just try to note down, this mass is having kinetic energy, this spring is having potential energy, this damper is having some heat energy, which opposes the motion, or resistance energy. You can call it as resistance energy, right? So that is what at the first topic, inertia. Inertia refers to kinetic energy, and that is stored in the mass, stored in kinetic energy, that is stored in mass. And elasticity refers to potential energy, and that is generated in the spring. And energy dissipation in the form of heat, it is due to damper, right? These three things are there. Consider this as your hero, as I told you, and this is heroine, and this is your villain, right? Three things are there. Throughout these vibrations, you are going to deal with all these three things only. So remember, always while we are going for the writing the mathematical equations for these systems, you will always keep it in your mind that this mass is associated with kinetic energy, that is half mv square, and this potential and spring is involving with potential energy. Wherever there will be spring, you are always, the spring is involving with some potential energy, that is half k into x. K is the spring constant, x is the displacement, whatever displacement you have, x is the displacement, and k is the spring constant, right? So spring is this spring is associated with your potential energy, and mass is associated with your kinetic energy, and damper is associated with the resistance energy or heat energy, right? At least these things is clear, I hope so.
to all of you.
Yes.
Next, coming to your
Yes, sir.
vibration, effect of vibrations. Uh, effect of vibrations. So at least now let us wind up here. So because it will be heavy for you for today, for one class it will be a little bit of because we have already I think yeah, gone through for
Yes, sir.
more than 1.5 hours. So we'll continue in the next class, right? So these are the things what I have summarized you in detail. So you can go through what today what we have discussed. We have discussed your history of vibrations, from where it is generated, and then we have gone through your what we have gone through. First,
Terminologies.
so first we have gone through this history of vibrations, then and we have gone through your the importance of study of vibrations, why, what is the necessity of study of these vibrations. Then also we have gone through what exactly this vibration is all about, right? And then we have seen some periodic motion and random motions, right? Then also we have discussed some terminology associated with your vibrations, and different terminology that is associated, and then also we have seen the simple harmonic motions, right? So and also we have seen the parts of vibrating systems, different parts of vibrating system, right? So you go through it today, at least go through this all these things what I have told you. And what is your job today, as I am going to share your for the history of vibration and evaluation of history of vibrations, you are going to sort it down with a tabular format. Okay, that is your only job. So this is all about, we have discussed the the basic things. Then next class onwards we will going to see what are the different types of vibrations, and what are the different effect of vibrations or reasons behind these vibrations, and how we can avoid these vibrations. All these things we are going to discuss in the next class, right? So till then, I hope all of you have gone through, and at least you have gone through and all these things, right? So let me take the attendance. This attendance is downloaded or what? So this is what all about. So we have seen in the vibration. Mostly, I hope all of you have little bit of idea about this vibrations. So next class onwards, we will see your further discussion. We will continue our discussion. So go through it today. I will share that BP Singh book also today with their post in that vibration class, and we will discuss some other material also. So I hope we have gone through all these things, and we'll continue our discussion in the next class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Please
sir.
share this Word file.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I will share that
Yes,
word
sir.
file. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Till then you can stop our discussion today for today.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you, sir.
Mm.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.